Hey everybody, good afternoon, maybe good evening for some of you. My name is Ryan Wilk. I'm a partner here at Reddy Neumann PC. I'm joined by my colleague and my partner, Stephen Brown. He's our H1B and litigation expert, and so happy to have him here today. So today we got news about an hour ago, maybe a little bit over, that USCIS is going to be conducting a new lottery, a second lottery for this year's H1B. And so Stephen, tell us a little bit about the announcement, just kind of what's come out so far.
Yeah, so very vague announcement from USCIS announced, let's see, at about noon Central Time, saying that they conducted the initial selection back in March, like we know, and then there was that initial filing window of April 1st to June 30th for people to file their H-1B petitions. USCIS then goes on to say, we recently determined that we would need to select additional registrations to reach the fiscal year 2024 numerical allocations. Soon we'll select additional registrations from the previously submitted electronic registrations using a random selection process, and then they go on to talk about how they're going to announce it. So basically, what does this mean, right? We know that there's 60,000 H-1Bs every year, and then the additional and then the additional amount, 65,000, and then the additional amount for the master's cap. And when the USCIS ran the initial group here, they didn't receive 81 petitions that might be approvable. And so they're going to run a second lottery to try to get to that 85,000. So we know that originally they had selected 110,791 registrations, and so now they're going to run a second lottery. We don't know how many. We have not received anything like that, but it is coming, and that's good news, I think, for a lot of people who are waiting for a potential second lottery.
Okay, so we've been waiting on this for sure, and so we were hoping it would come, and now it's in front of us. So kind of what do we know? What don't we know? When do you think that this next lottery maybe might be run?
Yeah, so like I said, we don't have a lot of information. They said that they will be announcing a second round soon, and start providing the notice to the My USCIS accounts. If I had to bet on this, I would say we'd probably see selection notices probably tomorrow or Saturday, and I'd be willing to imagine that we'll see probably an August 1st filing window for when they open it, and that would put it at plus 90 days is October 30th filing window. That would be my guess. We don't have that information, but my guess is we'll see selection notices the end of this, tomorrow or this weekend, to start filing on August 1st.
So you think they might have already ran this next selection then, huh?
I think so. I mean, it should be very easy for them to be able to do so, and then it's just a matter of uploading the selection notices. What I think's interesting is I texted Emily Neumann about this. She's out of the office, and she said it's interesting. They actually gave us notice. In the past, we just would get an email saying there's been action on your case, and we'd be like, oh, guess there's a second lottery. Now we actually know that ahead of time.
So maybe the USCIS has changed their procedure. So do you think that people should be checking into their accounts to see if they've been selected, or do you think they'll be getting emails or something along those lines to let them know?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, as an individual, you're kind of at the employer or the attorney notifying you. I checked my account like 20 minutes ago and didn't have any new selection notices. And that's okay. I anticipate that I'll have some. It's just a matter of they've got to upload them. So again, I would anticipate that we would see those selections maybe tomorrow or Saturday.
Okay, so it should be coming pretty soon then. So and I think you might have mentioned it, but if people are selected in the second round, what do you think the filing window will be, through October 1st, or will this allow for an October 1st start date?
Yeah, so for a 30-day window, 90-day window, my guess is USCIS would want to, if I'm running USCIS, right, I have this starting on August 1st. It's a nice, easy start date. And then the 90-day window would put that on October 30th. So going back to your question, August 1st start date or October 1st start date, I think you could. I think if you file early enough and file it in premium, I think you certainly could have your start date on October 1st. I think if you wait until October 15th to file your case and you file in regular processing, I don't think you'll have an October 1st start date. So I think especially for those of you that are on STEM OPT that's fixing to expire or OPT fixing to expire, one, you can still get cap gap, but that's only going to be through September 30th. So I think, if you are needing to do that, file your petition early and file for premium.
Absolutely. So we kind of saw maybe 15% selection rate last go around. Maybe anticipating the same.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think what we've seen kind of from the quote unquote community is a lot of people not filing, whether it's, we know that there was a disproportionate amount of multiple registrations versus
good and bad multiple registrations.
excuse me?
Allowable and not good and
Right.
bad, like allowable and not allowable. Yeah.
Yeah, and that they ran 110,000 selections out of 758,000 registrations. If you assume there's a lot of people that we've heard not filing because they're worried about this multiple registration, whether it's the employee or the employer side, or the fact that there were people that were selected 2 or 3 times and they picked one employer. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what the selection rate's going to be, but I'd imagine it'll be similar. Just kind of statistically, that's what I would anticipate.
Gotcha. So we know that a second lottery will be run. We have a good idea that we should find out probably in the next 72 hours or so whether people are selected, maybe into next week. We have an idea what the filing window might be. Anything else that you can think of that you might want to let folks know, Stephen?
No, and I think the big thing is we are going to be staying on top of this. Our team, has access to our various social media channels. We wanted to do a quick live session to kind of talk about this news, and we've got a couple questions that have come in we'll address. But pay attention, our firm's Twitter page, Facebook page, and all that. Once we start seeing selection notices come in, we'll take a look at that and start notifying people and then and all that. But just be prepared for this information coming. And like I said, if you're on OPT, be prepared to file early to avoid any issues. So Hans asked a question on YouTube: how many selections do you think USCIS will select? I don't know. It could be obviously I don't think we're going to see 110,000, right? Selections like we did in the first round, but do we see 20, 30,000? Maybe. I don't have that data to know personally how many I think would be selected.
Sounds like you'll have to do another lawsuit, get this data from the government, Stephen. We'll have to
Right,
find some volunteers to.
I've already got a FOIA lawsuit on the first round. I guess I got to do another FOIA for the second round here and sue on that. Nirmal asked, when will they conduct a second lottery? I imagine because of this announcement that they already have or are in that process. Theoretically, there should be a simple computer algorithm in theory. But I would imagine, we'll see information coming this weekend, if not early next week, probably at the latest would be my guess.
Yeah, so this is all very new news. Like I said, we got this announcement a little bit before lunchtime today, and so the data or the information we should know hopefully by the end of this week, if not early next week. And then, as Stephen mentioned, keep an eye on our social media channels, our Telegram group, because we'll try to get the information across to you guys as quickly as we can. So, Stephen, unless you have anything else to add, I think we'll say goodbye to everybody and maybe talk to them again soon.
Thank you, everybody. And again, like Ryan said, check our social media. And we have a Telegram group that both Ryan and I do manage. So be sure to join that. and ask any questions that you may have.